All right, I'm not shocked by this by any means.
I want some nasty. Are we having fun yet?
All right, so we're talking about Jakob Poeltl. He has been in the news lately, but not primo type of news, other type of news, actually basketball related news. If you guys haven't heard, it looks as if there's a high possibility, and we talked about this before, like plenty of times, but high possibility that the San Antonio Spurs will move Jakob Poeltl. And it makes sense, and it's actually, surprisingly, the same reason why we traded DeJounte Murray, at least partially why. Now, before we get into it really quick, if you guys want to support the channel, clan, themerchfan.com, link in the description. If you want to support your boy at the very least, just head on over to the shop and just see if there's anything you like. Just make a mental note. Go back to it later if you will. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about it. So this was circulating around Twitter. Jakob Poeltl is a trade candidate. Oh my God, Jakob Poeltl is a trade candidate per Windhorse. Now, this is more so an opinion here, saying that he's a trade candidate, but we've already known, like, for months now, that there's been teams that have asked about Jakob, and I was not shocked by any means, or I'm not shocked by any means if the San Antonio Spurs decide to go ahead and move on from him. Now, this is actually an interesting piece here. So this is what Brian Windhorse, I can't talk. I'm quitting this channel. I retire. Jakob Poeltl is in the final year of his contract, Brian Windhorse says. From what I'm told, the Spurs discuss a contract extension with him, but he's limited by how much he can sign for. It's the same reason they traded DeJounte Murray. They did such a good job on the contract that it almost works against you, because when you want to sign a player, the player wants more than you can give him because you're limited on how much of a raise you can give an extension. Now, we did a video about this already on the whole DeJounte Murray situation. And that was a while ago, so I don't remember what the percentage is, but there is a short percentage that you can actually give them from their contract. And as we can see here, his increase, his raise would only go up to 14 million. So right now he's making about 9 million. And if he wanted to sign an extension with the Spurs, he'll only be making 14 million. And he's definitely worth more than that. I mean, he's one of the better shot blockers / defensive centers in the league. And I think a team could really use him. But as we can see here, I believe Poeltl can sign an extension that can average 14 million per year. That's pretty good money for him, but he thinks that he can do better. And I don't blame him. The way he's playing, he probably can. Maybe the Spurs get to the offseason and re-sign him. He's headed for free agency. He can reverse course and take the extension offer. I don't know that's what they offered. I know the max they can offer him is 14.5 million, 15 million on average. He is a trade candidate. All right, so this is what I have to say about the whole Jakob Poeltl situation, okay? And I don't mean this in any harm whatsoever. Ever. Oh my goodness. And you guys know I absolutely love these players and everything, and this might come across as pretty harsh, but he is expendable. He just is. His archetype, the type of player that he is as a center, he is expendable. The Spurs went out and they got Bassey. Not to say that he will be as good as Jakob right now, but I just feel like that archetype is something that you can kind of grab in free agency anyways, and I don't necessarily think that you absolutely need Jakob Poeltl. Also, if you're looking at age, not to say Jakob Poeltl is an old man, but Jakob Poeltl, he's on the other side of as far as some of the younger players. Because if we look at his age here, Jakob Poeltl's 27, okay? And that's not old by any means. That's still a young, I mean, in real life, that's super young. But that's still a young player. He still has plenty to offer. But for us, we're on the younger side. We don't necessarily have to have Jakob Poeltl at that position. And where we're at right now, I'm going to be completely real. I'm being completely honest here. And this is not just my love for him as a player, Josh Primo as a player, but I do want to say this. We're behind. And I know that a lot of Spurs fans don't really see it this way. You get some wins and you get excited, but we're definitely behind. The Spurs really bought in to what we had there with Primo. And don't get me wrong, our future is super bright, especially with the foundation that we have right now and the upcoming picks. But we just took another step back, and not to mention Blake Wesley's missing 2 months. I mean, dang, and he's gonna miss more than 2 months knowing Pop. I just think you're in a position now where it's like you can't develop the guy that you're probably the most excited about, other than Sohan. You lost a guy that you were hoping to be a franchise type player. If we're gonna tank, we gotta tank, and we gotta tank quick. And this will be one of those situations where you're looking for the future and not necessarily right now. I think that the perfect team that Jakob could go on is like the Golden State Warriors. I think that he could really fit in there. I've always said that I think he can fit with the Bulls, but I'm not completely sure what we would definitely want from the Bulls. I'll let you guys kind of decide that. But overall, I just think that if you move Jakob, it makes the most sense. I think Jakob, Doug McDermott, Josh Richardson, I think all three of these players are guys that can go to better teams and actually compete, have a much better ending of their careers. Not Jakob, obviously, he got many more years left, but you know what I mean. But with the Spurs right now, I just don't really see a point, and I'll just be honest, I don't see a point. Another thing I would like to see more of anyway is if the Spurs did move Jakob Poeltl, we're going to get to see Jeremy Sohan way more in that pick and roll action. And I really want to see that, the pick and pop, pick and roll, because he gives some really hard screens. His screens are really hard. He's going to be a player that fouls out just from his screens alone. But anyways, I just wanted to talk about this just really briefly. I think that this is a good move if the Spurs decide to do it. But hey, that's just my thoughts. I am so sorry for stumbling over my words. I'm tired. It's been a long couple of weeks for Spurs fans, man. At least for me. Last week. Yeah, about a week. I don't know. This is rough. And then it's not ending. It's never ending. Thursday is gonna suck, man. But anyways, if you guys want to support the channel, please do. ClaimTheMerchFan.com or become a Patreon and YouTube member. Only $2 per month. I'll get with you later. Till next time.